Well, he's always been good to me. Hey, my name is Bobby Lingo, and I was up here just a minute ago, and I was telling you that I grew up, my mother was a convenience store clerk. I didn't know my father. I met my father when I was 18 years old. My mother used to tell me, we're not a ham and cheese sandwich family. We are a ham or cheese family. And I could have been swept away by what the devil tried to tell me when he tried to tell me that I was worth nothing. But God put incredible people in my life. And one of those people were my Uncle Jerry. This is my Uncle Jerry. This is me when I was a little boy. And if you can see just the way he's looking at me, that's the way he looked at me all the time. He loved me. And I don't even know why he loved me. I wasn't even his blood relative. I was only his uncle. I was only his nephew through marriage. He already had 2 boys of his own. He didn't have a lot of money, but somehow he made time for me. He told me that he loved me. He taught me things that little boys usually learn from their dads. Like he taught me how to throw a football. And he taught me how to tie a knot. He taught me how to dive in the water without killing myself.
I need
That's
that.
been helpful.
I need that.
But he didn't just say, I love you. No, he showed me that he loved me. Like this time I went out for football, and I didn't have money for cleats, so I just went out there in tennis shoes, and I'm sliding all around on the grass. My uncle comes out to watch me, and he says, son, where are your cleats? I said, well, Uncle Jerry, I don't have any cleats right now, but I'm going to get some. Next thing I know, we're headed down to Payless Shoe Store. He bought me a brand new pair of black, low-top football cleats. I had an orange and a white stripe down the side, and I looked so good on that bench. So good. It was not funny back then. I remember one time I didn't have money for school supplies. And I'm sitting in this truck, and he talks to me about how important it is that I take my school seriously. And then he takes his hand, and he puts it over, and he puts it in my hand. And I can feel that he has money folded up in his hand. And he says, son, you're going to take this money. You're going to get what you need for school. He said, we will not let anything stand in the way of who God has called you to be. And when he said that, I heard something different. I heard, you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. Look, I don't know where I would be without my Uncle Jerry. I know I love him. I know I named my son after him. If you took that one ordinary person out of my life, I have a complete different story. But my wife and I have been married for 22 years. We have 3 incredible children. We have been blessed to be a part of ministry on almost every continent on planet Earth. We are a ham and cheese family. That's who we are. And I learned that when an ordinary man told me that's who I was. See, we don't need to pursue being superstars or rock stars. We don't need more MVPs or celebrities. What we need is for all of us to realize our value. Ordinary people that love God with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our mind, and all of our strength, and that love other people that will never be able to pay us back. My Uncle Jerry taught me that. So in 2008, I get the opportunity to be that. I was invited to go on a trip and begin to travel throughout Central America and learn how I could make an impact with people that are hurting, poor, and helpless. And I thought, well, I can do that because I can relate. And then I found myself standing in a village of shanties. Shanties are people's homes. They're the size of our bedrooms. They have no electricity. They have no running water. Entire families are living off of the equivalent of $2 US. And I knew in that moment I was way out of my league. And our leader comes up to me and he says, we want to show you the ministry that we do, but first, can we take this box of supplies down to this family's home that we serve? And he hands me this box of rice and beans and soap and flour, and we walk for about 20 minutes. We're passing shanty after shanty after shanty until finally we arrive at the end of the village, and I meet a single mother with 3 children. But she doesn't live in a shanty because she can't yet afford a shanty. Instead, she lives under a black plastic tarp tied to 3 trees. Now, 2 of these trees hold a hammock. And in this hammock, this mother and her 2-year-old daughter sleep every night. And on the ground beneath her, in the dirt, this mother has taken an old piece of carpet and laid it under the hammock. That's where her 5-year-old and her 8-year-old sleep every night. And this mother is telling me how she picks limes anywhere she can find them, and she takes them to the local market and she sells them. She makes the equivalent of $1 US a day. And because that's all she makes, she can only feed her children once a day, and it's usually tortillas. And as this mother is telling me her story, I look at her 8-year-old son, and I remember being this age. I remember being super protective of my mother. I remember wondering, like, where is my father? And more than anything, I remember that voice that said, you are nothing. And I'm thinking, God, if that's what I wrestled with, what is this little boy wrestling with? And who is going to tell him that's just not true? And I didn't know it, but the answer was right around the corner. It was at the school that was his ministry center, and he was so excited to show me his school. So this little boy takes me by the hand, and he walks me back through that village until finally we arrive at the school. And I knew we were there as we were entering, because for the first time I could hear the sound of children singing. It was the only time that I had heard singing the entire time I was in that village. He took me by the hand and he walks me into this classroom, and I want to walk you into it. But I want you to try your best to go in not like the great people of Michigan. Instead, I want you to try to go in with the eyes of an 8-year-old boy who slept in the dirt last night and ate a piece of bread. He walks into the school, and over here are 2 classrooms. These classrooms have desks with artwork and school supplies and everything this little guy needs in order to have a great day at school. Over here, older kids are learning trades. They're learning carpentry and banking and things that are going to actually help them get real jobs in the future. Over here are 2 bathrooms. Now these bathrooms have sinks with running water and soap and toilets that flush. The only 2 toilets in the entire village. Above the bathroom is a massive container of clean drinking water. The smell of chicken and rice is permeating the air, and it was like you could stick your hand out and feel the hope in that place. But the thing that I will never forget as long as I ever live was a wooden box that was nailed to a wall. This teacher goes over and she puts her hand in this box and she pulls out a handful of letters. She starts calling some of the children over and she starts handing them these letters. And I learned that these letters are actually from each child's sponsor. Every child in that program is there because someone like you picked them. And not only do they provide clean water and education and medical care and dental care, but they write these letters that tell this child what his value is. So these children are taking the letters and go off by themselves. They're reading them. And some of these letters have stickers in them. So they're taking these stickers and they're putting them on my pants. They're putting them on my forehead. And we're just having a sticker party. And I look up and I see a sight that I hope I never forget as long as I ever live. It was a little girl. She came back later than everybody else, and she had her letter pressed up against her chest. She is dancing with this letter, and she had her eyes closed, and she is hugging the letter so tight. It's like she is trying to hug whoever is on the other side of this piece of paper. And she comes up to me, and she hands the letter up to me, and she says to me, something, in Spanish. Amy? And I looked at that little girl and I said, I don't know what you just said. So she said louder and faster, like that would help me out. something in Spanish, Amy. And I'm looking for a translator, like, can somebody please? And the translator comes in. He gets down. He looks at the little girl, and he looks at me and says, well, she wants to know if you know her sponsor. Her sponsor's name is Amy. She's from the United States. And since you're from the United States,
We're at a concert and they're preaching.
And I got it. That's this little girl's Uncle Jerry. Don't ever underestimate the things that you do that you think are small. You tell a kid that you love them, they may or may not remember that. You buy a kid a pair of cleats when he don't have any, he will never forget you. If you're here tonight and you sponsor a child, I want to say thank you for what you're doing. I have volunteers that are coming forward right now. And as they come forward, I want to let you know, you are literally impacting and changing that child's story. Tonight, I want to invite more of you to change a child's story. That's what we're here for. I'm with Children International. And what we do at Children International is we take a child and we connect them to somebody that will believe in him. And I have a child right here on the screen that I want to show you. This is Riker. He looks a little mischievous. He's 5 years old. He was born on March 22nd. And tonight, I'm here for Riker and hundreds of other children that need someone to believe in them. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to count to 3, and when I get done counting to 3, every one of you that can invite a child into your life, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. It's $39 a month. You sponsor for as long as you can. You cancel anytime you're not able. But what you're doing will absolutely change a child's life. So right now, I'm going to count to 3, and everyone that can, just raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Just raise your hand as high as you can, all around the building. Let's give these guys a hand as high as you can.
If I was a dead joke, I totally would.
Now there's people here tonight that already sponsor a child. I want to ask you, please don't let that keep your hand down. Y'all just keep your hands as high as you can while people walk around. No, I want to ask you not to let that deter you from sponsoring another child. If you're able and God has blessed you to do that, please do that. Some of you can sponsor more than one child. I met a lady last week that sponsored 56 children because she said she believed that God put it on her heart as a traveling nurse to bless these children, and that's her ministry, so that's what she does. If you're here tonight and you're able to do that, do that. If you're here tonight as a family,
what's 56 times 39? Someone figure that out for me.
Look at one of our children, see if they're your child's age or your grandchild's age. Maybe writing those letters will teach that child great perspective.
What is that?
But please, every person in this place can sponsor a child tonight. If you are able and you know who you are, I would ask that you please don't leave here tonight without doing that. If a volunteer is walking around and they have a child packet in the air, that means that that child has not been chosen. So if you want to come back and visit our table right back at the end of the room here, or up in 101, section 101, right behind there, we're getting ready to go into an intermission. You just fill that form out, tear it off, give it back to one of our volunteers, and then please return it at the end of the night. When you return it, we're going to give you a CD just as a thank you. It's Mercy Me's latest CD, and it's just our way of saying thank you so much. Guys, we get a great intermission. It gives us time to get back to our tables, get back to our seats. If you would just do that, we thank you so much. God bless you, and have a good night.
Where am I? I'm at Van Andel Arena for the
Hey everybody, this is Bart from Mercy Me. I just want to say thank you
previous.
so much for partnering with us. You're making a huge difference in the
But
life
basically, I'm just going to be streaming the concert until my
Don't
phone
forget to
dies.
fill out the information in your child packet. When you're finished, please give it to a volunteer or take it to a
It's at
children's
30% right now,
table.
so I don't
There's
know.
only one packet in the world that represents your child, so
I'm gonna
please
stream
put in
until
your
it dies.
information tonight.
Nice.
Also, if you like writing letters, you can stop by our table and find out
While
how
the
you
concert's
can
going
write
on, I'm
one
not
of
going to be
Jen's
able to
letter of
answer
encouragement. It means more to them than
comments
you can
very well. So
possibly
if you say
imagine.
hello, I'm going to do this.
Thank you again for partnering with us.
Say
The fact
something
that we can come
really
together like
honest
tonight,
about
sing
America,
about
and
the
et cetera, et cetera.
Jesus, watch
Because
the
you won't be able to hear me when
change
the
the
music
life
is
of a
playing.
child on the other side of the planet is
So
something
I'm
we will
basically
never
just doing this for
forget.
anyone who
Thank
could
you,
hear
thank you,
or wants to
thank you
witness
for
it.
even
Just
praying about
watch
getting
the stream.
involved.
But there's an intermission right now, so I can answer any comments or anything.
Hey, it's Chris Tomlin.
I can answer any comments or anything.
Hey, it's Leah McCofford.
Yes, I'm really great. Would you like proof? Would you like some proof?
91.3 WCSG.
There is your proof.
Happy birthday to
Hello.
you. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, I'm actually here. Here is your proof.
Happy birthday to you.
She got to.
I'm just thrilled that WCSG is celebrating
Very happy about that. I love this guy.
50 years.
50 years, half a century.
But half a century, isn't that ridiculous? A lot of time.
Why did you guys stop us?
Thanks to you.
I just turned 50 in December. About 2050. We're brothers. We've been in this together for a long time.
And to celebrate, I think we should do 50 half parts. You ready?
I was just here for the Big Timers concert for my birthday present, and now I'm here again for the Missy Me concert for her birthday.
I know, it's horrible.
Kind of crazy.
Thanks for calling
So
me
yeah,
out.
once the music comes on, you won't be able to hear me. So I'll just like do hand gestures out of the camera. I don't know how. My phone was supposed to die before the band even comes on. So I'm gonna pause the stream and then start another one when the music starts. Otherwise, by the time they actually start, my phone's gonna be at like 40 minutes.
Stand up.
And then we're not gonna have much of a stream, are we? So I will.
I know, I'm tempted.
How long is the intermission? Usually like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what I guess. I can talk. So yeah, in about 15, 20 minutes, I'm gonna start another stream with, so you guys can actually take a visit. So yeah.